The eye is responsible for vision, and it consists of the eyeball, which we're going to talk about in another lecture. And then it also consists of accessory structures. Of the eye. So one example of an accessory structure of the eye is what is referred to as the lacrimal gland. And this produces tears. And the tears are really interesting. They function to lubricate the eye, but they also have an immune function. So they also have, for example, antibodies in them, and they have chemicals that break down bacteria. So to lubricate the eye. Now, your lacrimal gland actually is above your eyelids, eyelashes, and eyelid, but below your eyebrow. So if we look at the structure of the lacrimal gland, this is where the lacrimal gland resides, right up here. Now, this is innervated by the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, that produces the tears, and then the tears actually drain out of the eye. So they come down, and there's this opening. If you look in the mirror in the inner corner of your eye, you can actually see a little hole, and that is called a punctum. And that is going to drain your tears into your nasal cavity. So if your eyes are watering, then your nose tends to water more. And then if you're crying, also, you tend to have those tears moving from your eyes and into your nose. And so your nose begins to drip as well. And so those are that's the pathway that the tears take. Now, we also have, interestingly, these eyelids, eyelashes, and eyebrow, right? All of those are protective. So we have the eyelid, eyelashes, and then the eyebrow. If you've ever been in a very dusty environment, you know that your eyebrows actually capture that dust, like they'll actually get dust on them, and your eyelashes will too. And then also sweat coming down from your brow sometimes accumulates on the eyebrows, right? So that it doesn't drip into your eye. So all of these are protective. We also have this mucous membrane on the outside of the eye that is called the conjunctiva. So this is a mucous membrane covering the outer part of the eye. It does not cover the cornea. So the cornea is the transparent place where light comes in, but it would be like the conjunctiva. Sometimes you can see it on your white part of your eye. It is sometimes irritated, and it forms, it can get swollen, like if you have really bad allergies. The other thing is that it can get infected with either a bacteria or a virus. And so this irritation of the conjunctiva causes conjunctivitis. So conjunctivitis is the irritation of the conjunctiva, and this is pink eye. And pink eye can either be bacteria or viral, but oftentimes we kind of just assume that is bacterial when we have it in our children, because it's highly contagious. If you give them antibiotics, maybe it's bacterial and maybe that will help it. But if it's viral, it probably will go away in like 7 days. But the problem is if your child has it, they generally can't go to daycare or to school, because it is like spread like wildfire through any community of small children in particular. So let's look at the image of the conjunctiva. So this is where the cornea is, right here. And so this would be where we have the conjunctiva. So this is over the white part of the eye, over the sclera. And that conjunctiva actually also lines, that mucous membrane also lines underneath of your eyelid. So there are some really awful bacterial diseases where people will get inflammation underneath their eyelid. It's a bacterial condition, and then they will blink, and that irritated eyelid will actually start to scratch the cornea. And in some cases, not in the US, but in some countries where there's no healthcare system, then people actually can go blind because of a bacterial infection in the conjunctiva underneath the eyelid. So we have the accessory structures of the eye.